Now again, we'll start with the derivation of law of demand. So simple definition of law of demand, that is called as commodity rises with a fall in price and vice versa, right? This is having inverse relationship between the price and demand given by the law of demand. Now MU is equal to price condition and law of equimarginal utility, right? Let us discuss in the details. What is the meaning of marginal utility? Is equal to price. That is called as single commodity equilibrium conditions. Now, according to the single commodity equilibrium condition, the consumer purchases that much quantity of good at which marginal utility is equal to price. It means what? In this case, according to the single commodity equilibrium condition, consumers purchases that much quantity. Consumers that purchases much quantity of good at which marginal utility, because these goods giving more satisfaction. So MU is equal to price. In this case, MU is equal to the price. So maybe this kind of question will be asked in the examination. So MU is equal to what? Is equal to the price. Because it giving more satisfaction. When MU is more than the price, if the price of good falls, if price of the good fall, MU becomes greater than price. Why? Because when price falls, we purchase more. So obviously in this case, what will be happen? MU becomes greater than the price. MU becomes greater than the price because of the reason price of the goods is fall down. That is why he's purchasing more quantity, and obviously MU becomes greater than the price. Now this encourages the consumer to buy more quantity, either more goods. Right? Now it shows that when the price of the good falls, its demand rises. When price fall down, demand rises. The consumer will continue to buy more unit, more until MU falls. Right? Then to be equal to the price again, until and unless that price is not equal to the MU, MU, then till that time, the consumers ready to buy more quantity, either more good. It shows that when price fall, demand rises. Right? Until and unless price is not rising, till that time consumers buying more commodity, either more goods. Now again, when MU is less than price, how it comes? If price of the good rises, it makes MU less than the price. Now consumers will reduce the demand until the MU rises, till it again become equal to the price. Vice versa. Right? It means when prices rises, demand falls. Prices rises, demand falls. So it can be concluded that there exists an inverse relationship between price and demand. So what is the relationship between the having the demand flow? There is a having an inverse relationship between the price and demand. Now another important part is that law of equimarginal utilities. So in the earlier case, we have seen that when MU is less than the price, when MU is the less than the quantity demanded. We have seen the two examples. Now according to this law, the consumer will be at equilibrium. Equilibrium means what? Equal. Equilibrium when he spends his limited income in such a way that the ratios of marginal utilities and their respective prices are equal. The MU falls as consumption increases. MU falls when consumption increases. In case two goods are there, say X and Y, equilibrium condition will be stated as MU of X by price of X is equal to MU of Y price of Y. In this equilibrium condition, if the price of commodity X fall, then in this case, price of commodity X fall, then it greater than the MU. Why? Why it means what? Y commodity, quantity of Y commodity and price of Y commodity. Now again, you will understand with this explanation properly. In this case, the consumer is getting more marginal utility per rupees in the case of good X is as compared to Y. Why? Because in this case, X is getting more commodity and that is why he is getting marginal utility. Right? Therefore, he will buy more of X and less of Y. Right? Now, this shows that when the price of good falls, more of its demanded, the consumer will continue to buy more of X still mu X is equal to Px is equal to mu Y is equal divided by Py. It means what? Equilibrium. He will buy more goods until price is not equal with the Y product. Right? In this case, price was fall down of X unit at the X commodity. That is why he is buying more quantity of X. Until that, whenever price is not equal to the price of Y, till that time, his M will be increased. Similarly, if the price of commodity rises, then price of commodity X is rises, then demand will be increase of Y. When until price is not equal to the X commodity. Vice versa. Now consumer is getting more marginal utility per rupees in the case of good Y as compared to X. So he will buy less of X and more of Y because of the reason price of X rises and he is buying more of Y. It means demand for commodity varies inversely with its prices. Right? I'll explain in short. When price fall down of X, he is buying more, right? And he is buying less of Y. Now in the another situation, when price rises of X, his demand is fall down and Y demand is increased. Vice versa, inverse relationship between the X and Y. X and Y. Got it? Got it?
Yeah.
Now again, what are the reasons behind of law of demand? Basically, few reasons are there behind the law of demand. First one is that law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility state that as we consume more and more units of commodity, the utility derived from each successive unit goes on decreasing. We have seen in the first lecture. When you are consuming more and more and more units, and then after certain level, your demand will be diminishing because your
I can't hear you.
your satisfaction level becomes zero at a particular point, right? And then demand for commodity depends on its utility. If consumer gets more satisfaction, he will pay more. Another example, whenever consumers are paying more, then again he is getting more satisfaction. Nowadays, recent example you can take of the gold and the ornaments. Nowadays, gold ornaments prices is high day by day. If you are wearing gold and in this situation, it means what? You will get more satisfaction, right? As a result, consumers will not be prepared to pay the same price for additional unit of the commodity. Now, consumers will buy more units of the commodity only when the price falls. That is called as important reason behind the law of demand. That is called as law of diminishing marginal utility. Whenever you are consuming more and more, then at a certain level, your satisfaction level will becomes zero. Right? So another example is that substitution effect. Substitution effect refers to the substituting one commodity in place of other when it becomes relatively cheaper. For example, let's see. If price of given commodity, say Pepsi, falls with no change in price of its substitute, then Pepsi will become relatively cheaper and will be substituted for a Coke. That is, demand for Pepsi will rises. Here is having Pepsi and here is having Coke. Price of the Pepsi fall down and Coke prices remain neutral and constant. So what will be happen in this case? Demand for the Pepsi will be increasing because substitute effect. Right? And third one is having income effect. Income effect refers to effect on demand when real income of consumer change due to change in the price of the given commodity. Example, suppose Isha buys 4 chocolate at 10 each with her pocket money of 40 rupees. If the price of chocolate fall 8 each, then with the same money of income, Isha can buy 5 chocolates. Right? So due to the increase in her real income. Now you can see another thing, you can take another example. If your income is having 50,000 nowadays, and from the next month, if your income is increasing from 50 to 70,000, then again you will buy more quantity. Right? So in this case, your price of the chocolate was fall down, but income level was same. Her income rate, her income level was, real was rupees 40, but due to that reason affecting on the price of the chocolate, she can buy more chocolate with the same income level. Right? So price effect is the combination effect of income effect and substitute effect. Symbolically, price effect is equal to income effect plus substitute effect. For a detailed discussion, we can see in the next lecture. Right? Now, additional customers. When the price of commodity falls, many new consumers who were not in the position to buy it earlier due to high prices. What was the point? Additional customers. When price of commodity falls, in this case, price of the commodity was false, but many new consumers who were not in a position to buy it earlier due to high prices. Because they assumed that price of the gold is having 1,28,000. So that is why no one is going for the shop for the purchase of gold. But after certain level, after certain period, price of gold was fall down from 1,28,000 to 80,000. People were not aware about that price. Right? So in addition, new customers, old customers of commodity start demanding more due to reduced prices. Suppose you can understand better with this example. Now price of the ice cream family pack falls from 150 to 100 per pack. Then many consumers who were not in position to afford the ice cream earlier can now buy it with a decrease in the price. Yes or no? Yes, obviously. Because there is having a 50 rupees difference. Moreover, the old customers of ice cream can now consume more as a result. It's a total demand increases. Because old consumers will become aware to buy the price, to know the price of the ice cream. So that ice cream price is fall down from 150 to 100 rupees. Now old customer can buy at this moment more quantity and they'll get more satisfaction level also. Now different uses. Some commodities like milk, electricity, etc. have several uses, some of which are more important than its others. When price of such goods like that, milk increases, uses gets restricted to the most important purposes. See, if milk prices increases, there is no effect on the demand because we are consuming as usual whatever we are consuming every day. But using of milk is restricted. For less important uses like that, cheese, butter, etc., gets reduced. Milk demand will be remain same, but the rest of the factor, rest of the things will be reduced. However, when the price of the such commodity decreases, the commodity is put out, its uses, whether important or not. These are the important factors which is affecting on the, law of demand. For the law of demand having some exceptions. So this is the most important question from the point of examination. So law of demand is not applicable everywhere. For that law of demand having some exceptions. In that case, demand of the commodity will be remain same. It will not be changed. Let's see what are the exceptions. Giffen goods. These are the special kind of inferior goods on which the consumer spends a large part of his income, and their demand rises with an increase in the price and demand falls with decrease in the price. For example, in our country, it's often seen that the price of coarse cereals like jawar, baja falls. The consumer have a tendency to spend less and then shift over the superior cereals like wheat and rice. The phenomenon popularly known as Giffen paradox was first observed by the Sir Robert Giffen. It means what? When prices fall down, people are not ready to buy more quantity. They want to switch with the superior kind of good. Right? They want to see switch to the other kind of goods. See how in the Giffen observed that when price of bread increased, then the low paid British wage earns more of bread and not less. These wages are used to live mainly on diet of the bread. With rise in its price, they were forced to cut down their consumption of the meat and other expensive food items. They are switching to another goods. They are not buying more quantity. In the Giffen paradox. Now, symbolically, status symbol goods are either goods or oscillations. The exception, relates to the certain prestige goods which are used as a status symbol. Example: diamond, gold, antique, painting, etc., are bought due to prestige they confer upon the purchaser. Such goods are demanded only because their prices are very, very high. So what will be happen in this case? Whenever prices rises, demand will be increases. We have seen that simple definition of demand. When price fall down, demand increase in the demand definition. But having some exceptions for the law of demand, rather than prices is increasing, but still demand also is increasing. So this is the another exceptions. Now, fear of shortage. If the consumer expects a shortage or scarcity of the particular commodity in the near future, then he is buying more, he is buying more quantity with higher price. Example, during emergencies like war, famine, etc., consumer demand goods even at higher prices due to fear of shortage and general insecurity in future. They are ready to buy any kind of goods for whatever prices are there. Met ignorance. Consumers may buy more of commodity at higher prices when they are ignorant of prevailing prices of the commodity in the market. It means what? Consumers may buy more commodity at higher prices, like that luxurious goods and all that. In this case, whenever prices rise, consumers buy more and more and more and more. Right? Fashion related goods. Goods related to fashion do not follow the law of demand. Example, if any particular type of dress in a fashion, nowadays you can take a simple example of jeans, wearing of jeans pant. Doesn't matter, prices is rises day by day. Denim, Levi's, Reebok, etc. There are a number of brands in the market. Every day, prices is rises of that pants, but still we are using more and more and more. It is not affecting on the demand of the jeans, dress code. the necessities of life. Example, like rice, wheat, salt, medicine, etc. Doesn't matter, prices is rises, but still demand will be, remain same or, on these commodities, of these goods. Salt, demand will be remain same. If prices fall down, we cannot more consume of salt, right? Yeah, is it possible? If prices fall down, then we can consume more, salt. Is it possible? Not possible. We are using, we are consuming that salt, which is required for our body day to day, point of view. Change in weather. With a change in season, weather demand for certain commodities also change. Here's example, demand for umbrellas increase in the rainy season, even with an increase in the prices also. In the rainy season, you know, prices of the umbrella is increasing. Prices of the umbrella is increasing, but still demand also increasing. Right?
Yeah.
Got it up to this?
Yeah.
Is there any doubt up to this? I hope you understood properly.
No. Yeah.
Is it sufficient for the today? I want to continue. Choice is yours.
Maybe we can finish this individual and market demand difference.
Yeah, distinct difference between individual and market.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll finish. No worry. Right? So let's see. What is the difference between the individual and market demand? It is the quantity demand of commodity by an individual consumer. That is called as individual demand. Having quantity demanded by an individual person. That is called as individual demand. Now, quantity demanded of a commodity by all the consumers. By all consumers at a given price during the given period. Now, it may or may not follow the law of demand. It always follows the law of demand. That is called as market demand. Right? That is called as market demand.
yeah.
Individual demand is not affected by all the factors affecting market demand, but market demand is affected by all the factors, like the individual factors, right? So this is the difference between the individual demand and market demand, right? For the today session, it will be enough, I think so.
Yeah.